And now, here for you, this is News Views, a newscast for Champaign-Urbana, Illinois, and the world. This is Bill Ratner speaking. And now, Michael Badger.
Hello and welcome to News View. The first story tonight is about Central High School in Champaign. Freshman students at Central High School, according to WICD Channel 15 in Champaign, will not be graded by letter grades starting, I guess, soon. Instead of A, B, C, and D grades, no F listed, they will be graded by a number system of 4, 3, 2, and 1. Christopher Schultz, a teacher at Central High School, says that he wants kids to move away from 90, 80, 70, and 60 grade scores because it becomes more about the number and less about the learning. Now, this says that 4 means the student has exceeded the learning target, while a 1 could tell them about a student who doesn't grasp a certain concept. I get it. And that's from James Fillmore of WICD. You can see more about that at WICD15.com and in other news. According to therepublic.com, the University of Illinois College of Law posted corrected student profile information and grades on its website after the school received complaints that grade and standardized test data from incoming classes had been inflated.
I'll either shock you or shut down. Either way, people get hurt. If you have a problem,
the original data showed students from the class of 2014 with median test scores of 168 and GPAs of 3.81, while corrected data indicates scores are really 163 and GPAs of 3.7. The Dean, Paul Pless, was placed on leave this month, and an investigation was started into whether the school previously inflated test scores and grades. That investigation continues, and the findings will be shared when it is completed, said College of Law Wheeler of College of Law. And the snapshot of data on the students is often used to attract future students. The school removed the data from its website after reports of the inaccuracy were verified. The university then started to investigate with the help of outside legal counsel and an independent data analyst. The inaccurate information wasn't reported to the American Bar Association, said the school, but the U of I self-reported the inaccuracies to the ABA. And in other news, the Illini sports team is going to be open this year with 5 consecutive home games, and they had little trouble against Arkansas and South Dakota states, but Arizona State gave them a tough challenge in week 3. Ron Zook is aware of what kind of teams his Illini are facing, and said, quote, "Our football team has an awful lot of respect for this football team coming in here, and I don't think there's any question. All you have to do is look at them. 35-0 in the first quarter against who they played. Their defense is ranked in most categories higher than we are," unquote. The Broncos got off to a slow start, but considering their year began in Michigan during a severe thunderstorm, it's understandable. Since then, Coach Bill Cubitt's squad has ruled the opposition, scoring 38 and 44 points respectively. And if you want to read more about that, you can find it at canada.com/sports. And Mohammed Ahmadinejad's UN speech, according to theguardian.co.uk, prompted diplomatic walkouts. Ahmadinejad, who is the Iranian president, launched stinging attacks on the United Nations and U.S. and other powers as militarist, imperialist, and unfit to dominate global governance. And Ahmadinejad's verbal assault on the West and Israel promoted walkouts. He criticized the U.S. for killing Osama bin Laden and burying his body at sea, saying that the al-Qaeda leader should have been brought to trial. Other delegations, including those from the UK and France, walked out later when the Iranian leader said that if European countries were still paying a, quote, "fine ransom to the Zionists," unquote, because of the Holocaust, they should also pay reparations for slavery. He also asked which country's economic policies riled military spending or relied on military spending. He also accused NATO of occupying Afghanistan and sanctioning drug trafficking, claiming that the narcotics production had risen since the U.S.-led invasion, which took place a decade ago. He also accused the U.S. and allies of targeting Iran, which is under sanction over its nuclear program, because it has challenged orthodoxy. And you can see more about that online at guardian.co.uk in their world section for this year. And in other news, chronic fatigue syndrome, it turns out, according to a new study from government health agencies, it is not related to a virus. This causes leukemia in the blood, and they did research to the original study that linked XMRV to chronic fatigue syndrome, which was published in Science in October 2009, retracted a portion of their data, but not their conclusions, because evidence of contamination in one lab involved in the study. Dr. Nancy Kilmes, who is an immunologist at the University of Miami, said that a 2-year debate over MLVs has raised the profile of the disease and brought attention to the likely role of infectious agents in chronic fatigue syndrome. But internationally recognized experts have looked at the immune data and concluded that there very well may be a pathogen or pathogens involved in the persistence of the illness, quote unquote, said Dr. Kilmes in an email message. The new findings will also be presented Friday in Ottawa at the annual conference of the International Association of Chronic Fatigue Syndrome /ME or ME, a leading scientific organization. An earlier version of this article said that the city was Toronto, but is in Ottawa. This according to the New York Times research. Champaign Centennial High School's choir director, Mrs. Marion Wyatt, was at Zaz Friday with one of her choirs to put on a performance for Illini Fridays. Fridays in September, the choir sings at various restaurants that sponsor WDWS Radio in Champaign. Mrs. Wyatt is the very well-known and very energetic choir director for Centennial High School, leading a great group of kids who can really sing. I interviewed Mrs. Wyatt and some of the people who are relatives and one or two of the choir members. Unfortunately, due to a battery I was missing, I forgot to install one of the batteries, so I got no audio of the choir singing. But next week, I should have some audio of the choir singing and be able to edit a better product. Michael Badger here for NewsView. Thanks for watching and next week I should have a report here about Mrs. Marion Wyatt of Centennial High School and her students. The choirs have been singing for Illini Fridays this month, and the last one was today, I believe. But I will have more about this story next week, I hope. Well, thank you for watching NewsView. As you can see, the choir here is singing, and hopefully I'll have audio of that next week. This is Michael Badger in Champaign, Illinois, and Champaign-Urbana, Illinois, wishing you a very happy weekend, and stay tuned for the rest of NewsView. Thanks for watching, and good night.
Hello, this is Sarah Choi. This is your weather forecast for Champaign-Urbana area. Friday night is mostly cloudy with 45 degrees Fahrenheit. Saturday, 30% of POP, high of 65 degrees Fahrenheit. Saturday night is mostly cloudy with 47 degrees Fahrenheit. Sunday is cloudy with 67 degrees Fahrenheit. Sunday night is 47 degrees Fahrenheit and will be raining.